Welcome to Revenza Tales, where truth-revealing stories of justice redemption strike hard. Smash that like button, subscribe for weekly doses of vengeance, leave your thoughts in the comments. Where are you listening to this story from? Share this video to spread the fire. This is the story of a wife's battle to reveal a shattering betrayal that toppled her world. I waited at the kitchen table, the stillness of our San Antonio house heavy as mist, broken only by the chiming of the old clock, a wedding present from my deceased mother. Every tick sounded like a condemnation, reminding me of a life that I believed was a deception. My husband, Julian, had just come in from another business dinner, his face drawn with exhaustion and something more, heaviness, guilt. He threw his coat over the couch, unknotted his tie as if it was strangling him, and fell onto our bed, its springs creaking, dirty. His scent remained, pervaded by a sweet, floral perfume, alien, obtrusive, and unrevealing admission of an alternative existence. Before long, his snoring echoed in the house, formerly a reassuring rumble, now a mocking cradle song for a fool. I cleaned up his clutter, jacket, wallet, phone, old computer, moving with the silent ease of 40 years as Juliet, his wife. His phone screen lit up, an email open. Julian, who avoided email for calls, had a message: "You were amazing tonight, Dad," with a red heart. The word Dad stung like a slap. Who wrote this and why so intimate? I swiped for more, shaking hands, but discovered only a mysterious email address, a jumbled series of characters and no answers. A chill crept over me, fear opening a hidden door in my existence. Julian stirred, snoring harder, his tranquility an evil comparison to my turmoil. I put down the phone, shaking hands, almost dropping it. Cleaning on, I rummaged through his pant pockets and discovered a fresh receipt from a San Antonio steakhouse, dated the night before. He'd insisted on a Dallas meeting, yet San Antonio, where his mother's memories dwelled, was his destination. The receipt indicated a party of 2, pricey Cabernet Sauvignon, our 10th anniversary wine, and filet with pasta. When had he last taken me there? Perhaps a decade prior, the first bakery of mine, his beaming smile in candlelight. Now, that recollection tasted like deceit. I took pictures of the email and receipt, my gut, a wife's instinctual knowledge, shouting betrayal. Inside the garage, his SUV was still warm, the smell of gasoline and that floral fragrance. I rummaged, flashlight in hand, discovering nothing on the driver's side but coins and an empty water bottle. Then, inside the glove box, my fingers brushed against something plastic, oily, a spent tube of personal lubricant, the cap encrusted. My heart halted. We hadn't been intimate in years. Julian always brought up age, fatigue. So, what was this for? The question seared, a sledgehammer to my world. I replaced it, scrubbing my hands raw, as if betrayal could beget stain. Under the back seat, I discovered crumpled napkins drenched in that same floral fragrance, not mine, not Julian's, but a deafening cry of adultery. I photographed everything, the burden of proof weighing me down more than any flour sack. I returned to the table and checked his phone once more. His messages were professional, work discussions, no affection. His inbox contained just that email, his sent and draft folders blank, unnervingly clean, like a wiped crime scene. A skilled deceiver, I seethed, anger solidifying into a cold determination to bring him down, whatever the price. At morning, when light crept through the curtains, I stood in the kitchen, awake, lubricant, receipt, and email racing round my mind. I cooked breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, Julian's robust coffee, hands moving automatically. He staggered in, hair disheveled, eyes unfocused, clamping his cup. "Crucial meeting today," he growled, not looking at me. "Late home." His lies were honed, unnerving. I smiled. Watch out, I told myself, suppressing the scream. San Antonio once more? With whom? He patted me on the shoulder, an empty gesture, and departed. The close of the door left quiet, my suspicions a reality. I could not remain stagnant, making speculations. I wanted fact. I phoned Mrs. Miller, an acquaintance from my bakery's beginning, who'd once referred to a private investigator, Thomas, for cases of infidelity. "Juliet, what's the matter?" Julian, do something? She asked, the hesitation weighty. I want the truth, I told him, pride raw. She sent me Thomas's number. An hour later, he texted, Mrs. Roberts, I'll assist. Meet at noon, downtown cafe. At the cafe, its worn tables and smell of coffee strangely foreign, I sat in a shadowy corner. Thomas walked in, stocky, blue shirt, eyes that pierced facades. I gave him a flash drive with the photos, email, receipt, lubricant, napkins. My husband's cheating, I told him, voice cracking, words like ash. Thomas read them, expression blank, scribbling notes. I'll begin today, he said. Go home, behave normally. I departed, the throng fading, desolation engulfing me. For decades of loyalty, Julian, my pillar, now disintegrating. Employing a stranger to follow my husband seemed the work of a bad film I never requested to star in. That evening, in my bakery, among the yeast and flour's comforting familiarity, my phone vibrated. Thomas showed me a photo, Julian, his light blue shirt, walking into a restaurant, hand in hand with a woman. I zoomed in, Allison, my daughter-in-law, wearing a tight black dress, red lipstick, loose hair. They weren't in-laws but lovers, their comfort a shared secret. There were more photos, them in the candlelight of a corner, Allison leaning in, Julian toasting her with a look of tender affection I hadn't seen in decades. A video at 2 a.m. I slipped on headphones, hands trembling, and saw Allison whisper to Julian, unfamiliar laugh, her eyes glinting. He opened the door of the car for her, gentleman to his mistress. I relived it, every glimpse a new hurt. Allison, handled like my daughter, instructed my recipe for flan, and Julian, my partner in life, betraying me and our son, Daniel. I saved it all, pics, video, details, on the drive, mind in chaos but hands firm. The proof was irrefutable, a hill I could not unsee, demolishing the life we'd constructed, once peppered with flour sacks and mutual aspiration. I clicked play, my heart pounding against my ribs like an anxious drum, each stroke fiercely wanting to burst its way out of my chest. The film was grainy from afar, but distinct enough to break me, Robert and Sophia on the third-floor balcony of the hotel, his arm around her waist possessively, her head on his shoulder, dark hair fluttering in the night air. And then, as if a stab in the stomach, they shared a swift kiss, shameless, no look to watchful eyes. It was momentary, but it reduced to ash the final flame of denial that I held on to. I replayed it frame by frame, every photo digging deeper into my psyche, a calculated, agonizing dive into desolation. The curtain to the room opened ever so slightly, and Sophia appeared, hurrying to hug Robert, her face radiant with a happiness I hadn't witnessed on her in years, as if she were a young woman lost in ecstasy. I collapsed into the chair, gripping the table's edge to anchor myself, the wood biting into my palms as if to ground me in this nightmare. Thomas's message followed, they rented the room for the afternoon. Looks like they're staying the night. I'll keep watch. I read it repeatedly, throat constricting like a noose, each word squeezing tighter. Hours earlier, Robert had texted, Eleanor, won't be home tonight, out-of-town partner meeting. Rest up. His voice was gentle, habitual after 40 years, but today it sounded false, a smooth lie. An outsider investor, yet lo and behold, in a 4-star hotel with our daughter-in-law. I opened my laptop drive, rescuing all photos and videos, taking my time on each, as if to ensure the terror wasn't a nightmare. Robert's look at Sophia was so gentle, his fingers stroking her hair with a gentleness he had never shown me for decades. It evoked our youth in San Diego, stolen moments under starry skies, promises of forever whispered in the salt air. Now, that look belonged to her. Family gatherings flashed, Sophia sitting distant from Robert, her glances at him laced with feigned disdain. Ethan would joke, Mom, Sophia can't stand Dad, she dodges him like a plague. I'd believed it, thinking it mere in-law friction, her adjusting to our family. But it was theater, a performance without a flaw for Ethan, for me, for the neighbors. They had played us beautifully, beneath our very noses. I was the fool, the blind wife, duped by two who had woven deceit into our lives. The world moved on, unaware of that balcony betrayal, but Thomas had recorded it, a hunter's perfect shot, etching my truth in pixels. I texted back, "Thank you. Keep watching, I need it all." His response, "I will. Remain calm." Our house that night was unfamiliar, haunted by ghosts of lies. I opened the dresser, yanking out a large envelope, hands shifting with morbid intent. I printed them all, pictures of Robert and Sophia exiting the lawyer's office, entering the hotel, on the balcony, every frame of the videos. I aligned them with care, closed the envelope, and buried it among ancient family photos in the depths of the drawer. One stood out, the four of us at Ethan and Sophia's wedding, her embracing him tightly, Robert's arm around my shoulder, all grins. Now, I wanted to tear it up, eliminate their fake happiness from my life. Morning dawned, and the front door groaned open, Robert, stumbling in, drunk. The partner was a bear, Eleanor, he slurred, eyes bloodshot from a party that lasted all night. Had to have a few. Tired. In the kitchen with water to hand, I observed his performance, salt grinding into my wounds. "Rest," I said flatly, dutiful wife's voice. "Work tomorrow." He nodded, patted my shoulder, tactful, and shambled to bed, snoring within minutes, as if treason were a dream. When his respiration stabilized, my phone vibrated, Thomas calling, voice low. "Mrs. Hayes, I received their hotel parking lot conversation. Special equipment, they did not notice. Sending now." "Thank you," I breathed. "Send it." The recording came, I put on headphones at the table, fingers trembling to press play. Sophia's voice first, icy and calculating, "Dad, hurry up with that phony contract. I need the entire bakery chain. Get that old bat out of the house." A punch to the chest, I clutched the phone, knuckles closed. Robert's response, confident, "Don't worry, the documents are in place. Eleanor suspects nothing. She trusts me blind." The knife turned, they weren't lovers, they conspired to take my empire. The chain of bakeries, sweat, tears, sleepless nights working dough, chasing deliveries to make my name. Robert never raised a hand there, never inked a hotel contract or worked the counter. Now, he'd give it to her, throw me out of our house. I duplicated the audio to the drive, recording time and location, calming my turmoil. The following morning, kneading dough for a downtown hotel order, my phone buzzed, Thomas with telephoto shots. Robert and Sophia in his car, papers out, her red pen scribbling furiously, him nodding, smiling in assent. Overheard, notary contact for the transfer. Checking out, Thomas typed. I zoomed, the papers weren't business, they were theft, step by step. Surrounded by sweet pastry scent, my world crumbled. I replayed the audio, headphones muffling the bakery hum, each word a fresh scar. Wretched old woman, Sophia's label for me, the woman who'd taught her rice, hugged her like kin. I'd seen her as family, the partner building Ethan's future. Robert, my San Diego sweetheart, vowing eternity. They'd mocked me, a fool clinging to love and legacy. Mrs. Peterson entered, beaming. "Eleanor, your chain's booming, proud of you." I forced a smile. "Thanks, I'm trying." In there, I wondered if she'd recognize strength or stupidity if she knew. I folded her pastries, said goodbye, and collapsed into my chair, hands in hair. No tears, only silent fury, an oven's flame ready to burn. That evening, supper under the yellow kitchen light warping Robert's face, he ate like a machine, voice toneless. "Eleanor, large papers to sign this week, complicated. Possibly look them over?" I shredded bread, hearing Sophia's voice, "Dad, rush the fake contracts." He probed me, pulling me into his plan. I smiled wryly. "Yeah, later, I'm exhausted." He drank wine, staring at me like nothing brewed. But I knew the hunter lingered. Additional wine flushed his face, he slurred over a tough client. I nodded, brain shouting, "Fool enough to trust?" He stumbled to bed, keys shining on the nightstand, a siren's trap. I watched, heart pounding, this was my time. I crept into the bedroom, quiet as a shadow, every step a step from pain to purpose. Snatched the keys, clutched hard, and made my way to the garage. Night muted, crickets sang my rage's melody. Flashlight on, the SUV loomed before me, witness to betrayal. Door ajar, gasoline and flour smell battered me. Glove compartment produced the lubricant tube, cap off, residue new, they'd used it again, their game still on. In the kitchen, I placed it on the counter, washing hands with lemon soap, rubbing as if to erase their touch. The smell cut through my concentration, not calmed. Tool drawer ajar, I drew industrial superglue, used once for a bakery chair, now my tool. Removed the lubricant cap, filled it drop by drop with glue, wiping the nozzle, shaking to mix. It flowed silky, undetectable. A slight smile touched my lips, hurricane within. This was not play, it was Justice's first shot. In the glove box, I set mat and seat to exactly right, shutting the door. Trunk inspection, crushed bags, water bottle, and used condom in one corner. My heart jumped, unsurprised. Pictures taken, added to my collection. With each picture a reminder, I would not let them go. Keys left next to his clock. I picked up a book, fell into sofa, pretending to read in dim light. Pages were blurry, mind reeled. Daniel's face came to mind, how to destroy his world with his wife and father's truth. The bakery, 40-year battle, Robert's pretend support, now ready to take it all. Robert woke an hour later, stumbling for water. Keys caught his attention, no suspicion. Still awake, Eleanor? He slurred. Just reading. Finish the water, bed. He drank, backed away, snoring immediately. I observed the stranger who'd promised forever, now plotting my destruction. But he had no idea my counterattack had begun. Dawn broke, sunlight shy through bakery windows. Working on hotel flames and pastries, I poured fury into each press. Home to breakfast, I covered calm. Robert drank coffee. Eleanor, Nashville trip tomorrow, big contract. Home late. Fix dinner? I saw his eyes, relief, not concern, a burden shed. He wanted me out of the way, and he knew why. Big one, he inquired, resting hand on mine, affected concern. Don't worry, I'll cope. That lip twist stabbed me. I smiled, nodded. Thanks. Call if late. He drank, stood, office early. His phone glowed on the table, a missed call, Sophia Thomas. I stiffened, sure it was her. Before I could touch it, he grabbed it, screen off, forced grin. Forgot it. Vanished. The slam of the door hit me. He barely concealed anymore. Work that day was robotic, deliveries, invoices, customer smiles. Mind preoccupied with Robert and Sophia. I couldn't have them parade behind Daniel's and my backs. Needed more, their unguarded words. That evening, I pretended to be tired. Early bus tomorrow, sleeping, I said to Robert. He nodded, patted my shoulder. Rest, Eleanor. Careful on the trip. I lay still, ears sharp. Near midnight, his snoring halted, he rose quietly. Phone light pierced the dark. He slipped out, thinking me asleep. I followed on tiptoe, hiding behind the living room curtain. In a shadowed corner by the window, phone to ear, he whispered. Yes, come tomorrow. No hotel needed, Eleanor's leaving for Nashville, back late. Sophia's giggle floated. Great, Dad. Finally relax. Robert laughed. Yeah, early, I'll wait. Behind the curtain, blood boiled. Not only betrayal, they'd defile our home, Ethan's as well. Walked back quietly, pulled open a drawer for Ethan's old recorder, college courses, now mine. Battery tested, new inserted, non-stop mode. Sculled behind the bedroom bookshelf, close to the headboard, cord stuck under a family photo, our wedding quartet, smiles falsehoods. Shuffled the frame, checked, working. Back in bed, eyes wide in blackness, more vigilant than ever. Robert came back, bedded, snored. I have an early wake-up, eyes not closed in sleep, but determination. prepared for the next step. Eleanor, up so early? Something wrong? Mrs. Peterson questioned, worry smoothing out her voice. I smiled, concealing the tempest raging within. Mrs. Peterson, may I stay here a couple of hours? I have to keep an eye on my home. Her forehead creased, but she didn't ask, pouring me coffee and indicating a chair by her window, which looked out over my front door, where reality would soon be exposed. At 10 a.m., a cab pulled up outside. Sophia stepped out, floral print flowing, dark glasses covering her eyes, fearful of being recognized. Robert flung open the door, glancing down the street before ushering her in quickly. I clutched my cup, my heart racing, and opened the app connected to the bedroom recorder. Through my headphones, Sophia's laughter blended with clinking glasses, heavy footfalls, then Robert's deep, smug voice, "No more hotels, we're free here." Sophia snickered. The old bat's gone, right? Her disdain, old bat, cut like venom. The bed groaned, sounds I refused to hear. I closed my eyes, taking deep breaths. Just a little longer, Eleanor. Then, Sophia's shriek cut through, what the hell? We're stuck. She was panicked, on the verge of sobs. Robert snarled, shut up. Let me try. I smiled weakly, placing my phone to activate the smoke trap. The string was pulled, and the skillet's oil ignited, black smoke curled out the kitchen window, a warning to the world. Mrs. Peterson gasped, Eleanor, your house is on fire. I pretended to panic, but steady anchored me. Neighbors burst out, crying, fire at Eleanor's. Call the fire department. Mr. Miller dialed, voice anxious. I remained motionless, eyes fixed on the house, cup tight in my hand, everything proceeding as scheduled. In my ears, Sophia's desperation mounted, Robert, do something. I can't move. He growled, I'm trying. But the superglue I'd substituted kept them, pinned in their shame. I imagined their struggle, terror contorting their faces, and experienced a sick satisfaction, not cruelty, but justice for their scheme to steal my bakery, my family, my pride. Smoke thickened, neighbors shouting. She's out of town on business, one said. Mrs. Peterson glared at me distrustfully but squeezed my hand tightly, wordless. She knew. I didn't justify, the truth was about to explode. Fire truck sirens wailed, the red monster skidding to a stop. Ethan jumped out of the driver's side, fire chief's uniform crisp, face tense. Gear up, people may be inside, he yelled. My heart constricted, my son, proud of family, now confronting betrayal. I wanted to rush to him, apologize, but remained still, allowing the plan to proceed. Smoke rolled, persuading Ethan's crew of a fire. He battered the front door with a sledgehammer, wood shattering. His team came behind, hoses and extinguishers at the ready. In my headphones, pandemonium broke out, Robert's curses, Sophia's wails, do something. I can't move. Robert snarled, quiet down. Ethan pushed into the bedroom, I pictured his shock, his father and wife, naked, stuck together, faces chalky with terror. His voice shook through the app, what is this? A firefighter grumbled, my God, another suppressing a laugh. Ethan bellowed, silence. Not only for order, but to entomb his pain. The embarrassment was now public, seen by his crew, the neighborhood. A firefighter dashed out, Chief, smoke's under control, just an oil fire, minor. Ethan remained silent, probably stuck in the bedroom. Neighbors jammed the door, whispering, Robert and his daughter-in-law. Unbelievable. Mrs. Peterson taped on her phone, zooming on Robert and Sophia, twisting, faces warped. She stared at me, eyes combining pity and fury. Eleanor, you knew, didn't you? I nodded, eyes locked on the devastation. Ethan's boots pounded out, Robert crying, clear everyone. Close the door, Ethan. Too late, the neighbors witnessed, their whispers a hum of revulsion. Father-in-law and daughter-in-law, shameful. Firefighters swathed them in sheets, concealing their pinned forms, and stretchered them out. Sophia's cries cut through, please, help, it hurts. Robert muttered, don't let them see. But all saw, revulsion, laughter, shaking heads. Filthy, a woman hissed. The ambulance wailed away, neighbors jeering. What a show. Mr. Miller laughed. Shameless. An elderly woman whispered, poor Eleanor. I stepped among them, feigning shock, as if I'd rushed from the bus station. Ethan stood in the yard, arms limp, face ghostly. His team avoided his gaze, packing gear. His pain mirrored mine, betrayed by those he loved most. I wanted to hold him, but followed Mrs. Peterson to the hospital, maintaining the facade of a worried wife. In the third-floor hallway, we waited. A doctor emerged, sweating. Mrs. Hayes, we separated them, no serious harm, just skin irritation. They need ointment. I nodded, feigning relief, fingers brushing my purse where 2 mustard tubes hid. Thank you, I said, voice wavering for effect. Can I see them? He took me to the nurse's station. A young nurse handed me 2 tubes of ointment, her eyes sympathetic. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I smiled half-heartedly, and when she turned away, replaced the tubes with mustard, quick, practiced. In their room, I held 1 tube, face a mask of worry. Robert, Sophia, are you okay? Sophia, hair disheveled, eyes puffy, refused to look at me. Robert, ashen, stuttered, Eleanor, I can explain. I placed the mustard tube on the bedside table and departed in silence. Minutes passed, and then screams broke out, Sophia's cry, it burns. My skin. Robert swore, what's this? Who did this? The corridor hummed, families, patients staring. An elderly woman hushed, that's them, the video couple, father-in-law and daughter-in-law. Shameful. Another nodded, they got what they deserved. The doctor entered hurriedly, nurses rushing in with neutralizers, but it was done. Mrs. Peterson's video, now viral, sealed their ignominy. Ethan came in, holding the envelope I'd instructed him to bring back, containing evidence and divorce documents. His eyes were empty as he handed it over. I opened it, putting the papers in front of Robert and Sophia. My voice was ice. 40 years end here, Robert. Sign these and disappear from Ethan's life and mine. Sophia wept, begging to Ethan, honey, I messed up, forgive me. He looked, stone cold, and left. Robert grasped me, shaking. Eleanor, please, I didn't mean. I stepped back. No more lies. You made your choice. He yelled, Eleanor, but a nurse shouted, quiet, this is a hospital. I fled, not looking back. In the corridor, Ethan stood with head and hands against the wall. Mom, he whispered, voice broken, why Dad? Why her? I had no answer, only embraced him, our anguish together. They'd lost everything, honor, marriages, plots. But Ethan and I lost family. I hoped time would cure us. Weeks later, my bakery thrived, the bell chiming endlessly. Customers buzzed in, smiling. Eleanor, you're a rock, Mrs. Peterson said, clutching flan. The neighborhood's proud, you protected your business through that filth. I thanked her, smiling, but my strength was forged from heartbreak. Each oven glance recalled their plot to steal it, now failed. I stood firm, with Ethan, with my life. Ethan moved in post-scandal, quieter, his laughter gone. Mom, I'm staying, he said, suitcase in hand. I'll take care of the bakery, customers, everything. I embraced him, inclining my head, acknowledging we both required time. Mornings, we operated together, I prepared ovens, he managed invoices. Grand Hotel orders more pastries next week, he hollered from behind the register, voice firm but subdued. Affirm it, I'll make extra dough, I said. These periods offered solace, unfettered from Robert's insincere smiles, Sophia's mechanistic charm. Just us, rebuilding. Dinners were bland, rice, beans, coffee. Mom, flan this weekend? Ethan ventured, a small smile flashing. You stir the caramel, I teased, heart rising. I made time for myself, took a cooking club, sharing recipes with women my age. Your flan's the best, Eleanor, one giggled. San Diego secret, I winked. Church weekends, drenched in stained glass light, I prayed for Ethan, for me, for strength. Walks with Mrs. Peterson in the square, her news buzzing, they're still discussing Robert and Sophia, but you won. I smiled, quiet, victory came at a cost to family. Ethan opened up, sharing firefighter stories. Market fire yesterday, hazardous, but no one was hurt, he said at dinner. Be safe, I urged, voice choking. You're all I have. He looked at me, gentle. Don't worry, Mom, I'm not leaving. His words healed, a balm on our wounds. One day, bakery full, I stood and observed the street, bell ringing, sweet bread smell heavy. I'd created this from a San Diego girl's ambitions, unbowed. They attempted to steal it, but they lost. I preserved my bakery, Ethan, myself. Moral: justice isn't mere visibility, it's standing tall, protecting your value from betrayal. Thanks for watching Revenza Tales. If Eleanor's battle touched you, like, subscribe, share. Would you remain silent or retaliate? Leave a comment with your city. How far this story gone? Thanks with a super for keeping these stories coming. Read 2 great stories connected at the end, they'll strike deep. With love, next time.